Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do some work on our 330Ci. It's been having a little problem that I've been kind of neglecting and ignoring, but it's about time that we actually addressed it because the ramifications of leaving it, you've heard me harp on it quite a bit in the past, is pretty bad. So we want to address it today, and that is the cooling system on my 330. So the issue that I'm having is that after a couple autocross events, I'm noticing that my coolant tank, my expansion tank, is nearly bone dry, and that's not good. So, if you know these cars, they're fairly reliable. They have their quirks and features and common issues, but the cooling system is the biggest downfall with this car. It's often the most neglected system and leads to some really bad things. So I have serviced the cooling system on this. When I first got about 4.5 years ago, I put a whole new cooling system in. That's the upper lower radiator hoses, the water pump, thermostat, Nissan's brand radiator. All right, so let's pop the hood. I've already popped it inside the car and removed the filler cap. So the cap is off because I had to move the car around. I didn't want to build any pressure as it built some heat. Now we can see the bobber is up and out, and we do have fluid in there. I don't remember the last time I topped it off, but it's been a little bit. We're going to do a quick visual while it's on the ground. Now there might actually be a little bit of coolant stainage around this thermostat. I'm not seeing anything down below. I'm certainly not getting any puddles. The coolant tank itself is dry. The other thing to look for is these plastic connections that I mentioned earlier. When they get old, they turn brown, and that is a big sign that it's way overdue to be serviced. Like I said, these are about 4 years old. They should be fine, but I'm starting to suspect maybe it is just that thermostat. The good news is when I serviced the cooling system, I bought everything through FCP Euro. You've heard me talk about them before. They are the place to go to for your Euro parts, for your BMWs, for your Mercedes, Audis. They offer OE and OEM parts, as well as some aftermarket parts as well. But I always recommend sticking with the OE OEM, and they offer lifetime warranty. So if we determine this thermostat is bad, we'll go ahead and replace it out through FCP Euro's easy warranty process. So just taking another little visual here. Got some maintenance due for the car as well. It's time to change the oil. I got to rotate the Autocross tires. I've spent half the season with these in the current position that they're in. They need to get a rotation. But other than that, looks good. Let's go ahead and get our pressure tester. I'm gonna put some pressure on it, see if it holds. If it drops, we'll start looking for some leaks. We'll also get it up in the air, look underneath, and see what we find. All right, so this is the cooling pressure tester kit that we're going to use today. Comes with an assortment of different connections, can be used on multiple vehicles. Basically, just to narrow it down, I just looked at the original cap. Looked, okay, there's a couple here that are similar. And, grabbed a couple to see which one fit, and in this case it is number 17. So this is actually a pretty decent kit. It's got different radiator caps that you can test with. It's got a pressure tester you can set up with line pressure if you want. We're just going to use the hand pump. You can see I've got the adapter on the coolant expansion tank here. I got my pressure tester here, the hand pump, and we're just going to bump it up probably close to 15 psi. That should be more than enough to test for leaks. You don't want to over pressurize it. All right, that should be good. Now we're watching it. Doesn't appear to be falling immediately. Actually, it is. So we do have a leak. Now the question is where? Just took a quick look. I'm not seeing anything blatantly obvious yet. I mean, we are definitely losing pressure. Down about 8 psi. I can hear it. I just can't tell where it's coming from. I'm not seeing the fluid leaking. There's a little, you might see it in the video, there's a little water on the top of the tank. That's just because I bumped the connection and to make sure that was tight, and leaked out a little bit. So I think the next step, let's get her up in the air and see if we can see anything from underneath. All right, we are under the belly of the beast. Again, this sway bar, I mentioned it before, Turner Motorsports, really not happy with you. All the paint came off, it's rusting. At some point I'll take it down, I'll paint it, but it's just sad. We're in Atlanta, there's no salt, there's no corrosion. It shouldn't be doing that. But let's see, bottom of our radiator all looks good. Now if you're astute, you know I'm missing the little plastic piece that goes in there. I gotta grab that. I whacked the cone with it and knocked it off. Let's see, our lower radiator hose, nice and dry, no signs of stainage. So I mentioned I did dribble a little bit of coolant down, so the bottom of the expansion tank's wet, but I don't see any crusty, so that is all new stuff. I'm missing a power steering bracket bolt. We'll address that. Looks like we got some oil leakage. Where are you coming from? It's like maybe just the drain bolt. I don't see any other signs of leaks. Everything else is dry. Now, I have done the oil pan on this. I think that seepage there, I think we might be due for another oil filter housing gasket. It's been again about 4.5 years. It should have lasted, but you know, stuff happens. You'll probably see that there's some crusties and stuff on this car, on some of the hardware and whatnot. This was a Buffalo, New York car, so it did see some salt, but all in all, it is really solid. You see these knuckles are just terrible. They're gonna all get changed out. All right, well, let's just go back and see what else we might see. Maybe a little seepage on the transmission drain plug. Ooh, our Jubo is that doesn't look good at all. In fact, holy cow. All right, well, that's bad. I don't know if you can tell why, but one, there's a chunk out of it, which I don't know why there would be, but the strands are also coming out of it. Tons of cracks. I can't believe I didn't replace that when I did the clutch in this any of the times, but that's toast. We cannot do another. We cannot go out and do another autocross event with it like that. In fact, we won't really even drive it because that comes apart. It's going to be a really bad day. I think we'll probably replace that with an M3 one. They're a little heavier duty. They cost a bit more, but you know, I do work this car, so I want it good. Here you can see some of the self undercoating from oh my god. That's all from before I had this car. Oil filter housing was leaking so bad it was actually actively dripping on the ground and just totally undercoated the car. And then you can see the other side of the car is perfectly clean. All right, well, let's go back a little further. Let's see, this is our CV. That looks good. CV boots look good all the way back. Again, we got a little seepage on the fill. We'll probably need some new O-rings. On that, I don't see anything too crazy. So this car, the entire rear end has been out. I've replaced every single bushing. You see here that there's actually ball joints on the bottom instead of the stock bushing. Did that. Did new control arms. Got the big fat sway bar. I just stayed with the stock rubber subframe bushings. I'll probably end up changing those out for poly. I'm just looking. I don't see any cracks, which is good. I really want to clean this car up. I enjoy it so much. And you see all the little bits of surface rust. I really want to give this thing some attention and just take it down and restore it. Oh, there we go. I don't know if I can get you guys in there or not. I don't have an inspection mirror, but I can see the whole underside of that thermostat housing is green. So that is our leak. Unfortunately, I don't have a new one here, but that's definitely our leak. I need to order that Jubal anyway. I think we'll just order that thermostat, replace it both at the same time. I won't be driving the car anyway. All right, well, while we got her up in the air, let's go ahead and check out the front end. That's nice and tight. Tight again. So if you've got the stock lug bolts, they are 17 mil. These are 19. All right, so the brakes are looking good. I don't feel any big lip on the rotor. Inside pad looks good. Outside pad, tons of meat. Let's go pop the rear tire off. All right, inside pad looks pretty decent, maybe about half. Again, no lip on the rotor. These are just whatever rotors were on the car that I got, I don't know, 4.5 years ago. Inside pad looks good as well. And everything else looks good. And zip that one back on. I'll come back and torque those off. I'll come back and torque these off camera. All right, let's go do the front. Like I said, I'll come back and I'll torque these down off camera. All right, I'm going to go pound out the other side. All right, so I got the other wheels rotated on the driver's side. Next, let's go ahead and do the oil change. Like I said, it's due. We're going to use some liquid moly 5W30. We use a man filter, part number HU9254X. It does come with the new oil filter housing O-ring and the washer for the drain plug. What it doesn't come with, though, unless you buy, I think if you buy a whole oil change kit, they'll send these two O-rings. They go on the oil filter housing as well. Often overlooked. They can cause the red oil light to come on at first start and then go right off. So it's just a good idea to change those out routinely. They're pennies. This is the part number for those. I'll link all this stuff in the description as well. All right, we're under the car. We're going to drop this oil for an oil change. Hopefully not soak my camera. The drain plug is 17 mil. Yeah, it definitely looks like it was seeping from that. Well, you should just crack it and then undo it by hand. Only spilled a little, not too bad. Just looking at the oil, it doesn't smell like fuel or anything. Looks pretty clean and clear, so that's always good. All right, then up top, I'm going to use a 36 millimeter axle nut socket to take the oil filter housing off. You can also use a large crescent wrench. All right, we're just about all drained out. We're going to take our new drain plug washer, put that on here. Make sure you do have the old one off. You don't want to double these up. You don't want to put the drain plug back in until you've taken that oil filter out, because that housing will hold a bit of oil. You want to get as much of that out as possible too. And we're just going to put this in by hand, tighten her down to good and tight. There we go. We'll spray this down real quick. One, because I don't like the mess, and two, that way we can keep an eye on things, see if we're still leaking somewhere. I think it was just that crush washer. Apologize for the fan noise. It's Atlanta, it's summer, it's gross. So we're just going to pull the oil filter off. We need to get the large O-ring off. Now make sure when you're replacing these, it goes in that big groove right here, in this big groove, not against here. If you put it against here or double it up, it's going to leak. Now these little ones can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Usually stab myself at least once or twice with them. Came off pretty nice. You probably don't have to change these out every single oil change, but they're super cheap, and it's just good practice, I think. Let's get this first one on. There we go. Now my hands are a little oily, so that's helping it go on a bit. You just want to make sure you're not stabbing the O-ring with your pick tool. That would be bad. There we go. We got them both on. We'll just look all the way around, make sure it's good. Got our big O-ring on there. And again, just make sure that it's in that groove, not all the way against the lid. That would be bad. Just going to take a little of the old oil, just lubricate it so when it goes in, it doesn't bind up. Take our new filter. Direction doesn't really matter. Just push it on until it's all the way in, and stab that back in the car. All right, back top side, we got our oil filter housing assembly all set to go. And I always try to start it by hand. A little down pressure helps. And then again, a nice scoot and tight. I'll just spray this down a little bit. It's not uncommon to see these power steering reservoirs seep a little bit. There is a breather in the end of the cap. So get our oil, top her back off. All right, I'm gonna go back in with some liquid moly. Pop that up, twist it. We should be, oh, we gotta pull a little safety seal off. There we go. I was gonna Bluetooth it, but I don't really feel like cleaning up a mess. First 5 liters are in, and I didn't realize until I saw someone else point out, but you got an oil change sticker right on the label there. You just put in your mileage, stick it on the windshield. I don't put enough mileage each year to really worry about miles, so I only put maybe 3,000-4,000 at most per year. So I just try to remember the date. I might put a date on it and throw it up in the car. You got a total of 7 liters put in. That was the first 5. I'll probably put the 6th one in. And then just check the level, make sure we're not over full. All right, got her all topped off, all 7 quarts. Let's do a little level check. And perfect. Couldn't be any more on the money than that. You want to be right above the top of this mark here. She's nice and wet. If it'll ever focus, there we go. So perfect level. Oil change is all set. Let's go ahead and start her up. Make sure we don't got any crazy noises or anything like that. There we go. Good to go. Now I'd take her out for a drive, but like I always say, put it right in the ketchup when it's cold. But I'd take her out for a drive, but with that Guibo, I just don't think that's a great idea. So we'll just have to call it here because we don't have parts. Now I did go through some of my stockpile of parts. I knew I had a brand new gently used thermostat from SCP Euro, part of their E46 cool kit, that we put on the Redvert Clifford, if you remember that one, the Red 330 Ci. Fortunately, something happened. I don't know whether it's just while it was in storage or what, but the thermostat, one of the spring was starting to come off. The retaining tab popped out. I'm not going to bother getting it. I'm not going to bother with it trying to fix it. We'll just order up a new one from SCP Euro. Maybe we'll do the whole cooling system service on this. Again, like I said, it's been a better part of 4.5 years, so it's probably early, but seeing as one component's leaking might be worth doing the whole thing. I don't know. I'll have to make a decision on that off camera. We got the oil change done. We got the tires rotated. We inspected everything else, steering, suspension components. We did find that Guibo is toast. So we definitely need to get that replaced before we go any further with the car, or at least driving-wise. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this thing has been through hundreds and hundreds of autocross runs, and it takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. I was hoping to go to Road Atlanta, do a shush event with the 330. I've never done a track day. I was really looking forward to it. But now that we need to do that Guibo and the cooling system, might have to put that on hold. But I probably get the parts here and pound this out next weekend, so we might be all right. But it's a good thing that we did look it over. As hard as autocross is on a car, a road course is even that much more. So we want to make sure everything is tip top on the car before we go out if we do. So I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to order those couple parts, and I'll bring you guys back when we put those in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. We're over 2,300 subscribers now. I'm hoping by the end of the summer we break 3 grand, and it would be fantastic if we got to 5 grand by the end of the year. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.